Hello, everybody. It's Ann popping back on live. I hope you're having a great Monday, you guys. I am making chicken shawarma tonight for dinner, and I thought, oh my goodness, I'm going to pop on here and show you guys how to do this because it's really fun, easy, and I'm making enough so I can have a leftover one for tomorrow lunch or the next day lunch, somewhere like that. So, super excited about that. So, here we go. Behind me, I have two things warming up on top of the stove. I have our wonderful single burner grill pan. This comes in two different sizes, and I've already gotten that warmed up. And I have marinating right here 3 pieces of chicken. I had 2 chicken breasts, boneless, skinless, that are small. I cut it actually. I had one breast, I cut it in half. And then I had one skinless, boneless thigh. So that is what I have been marinating. And this has olive oil, that's your liquid base. And then there is turmeric, cumin, paprika, garlic, salt, and pepper. And so I've had that marinating for probably a little over an hour. And I have the grill pan heated up. So I am going to take these pieces of the chicken and I'm going to just pop them on the grill pan. And I just set the timer for 4 minutes. So at 4 minutes, then I will turn it over. And you guys, the grill pan, I love it when it gets cooler and I don't want to go outside and grill, or I want to cook something just above on the ridges. And it is one of the products that they announced today that's 25% off. So we announced our Black Friday specials today, and they go through Black Friday weekend. And so if you've been eyeing that grill pan, you can get a press too if you want. It is one of the deals on sale. Then on the other burner, I have warming up the 10-inch stainless steel nonstick pan, the one that has the web cooking. And the reason I have that warming up and I'm warming it up dry is because I have some pitas that I bought, and I want these to be warm when I make the shawarma wraps. And so I will toast them. This is the same thing I do with tortilla shells. I toast them both sides till they get nice and just even a couple little charred marks. So that's what I'm going to do over there. But let's make the spread that we put in this wrap. So I have a package of just plain Greek yogurt that I'm going to drop in this prep bowl. And then we're going to chop up a chunk of cucumber. So I'm going to use, I don't know, maybe half of this amount. We'll see. I kind of do this by feel. I don't have this recipe written down. So I'm going to just use the food chopper because I want these chopped so that they're pretty fine. And then let's add that right to the yogurt. We're also going to add a teaspoon of our all-purpose dill mix that I measured out here in the measuring spoon earlier. So let's give that a stir so that those flavors can get blending. Oh yeah, I think that's about the right amount of cucumber. You guys can kind of see that. You want it so that it's a little chunky, okay? So it's yogurt, cucumber, and the dill. We're also going to do super finely sliced red onion. So I always grab my simple slicer for a job like this. And I just have a small red onion right from my garden. I'm going to use it on number 1. There are 3 choices of thicknesses, but I do want this really thin. And so I'm just going to put it in the food saver or finger saver, as some people should be known to call it, because I really don't ever want to hear about you using this slicer without this tool, because it's truly what protects your fingers. As you can see, look at how paper thin those are dropping out. They'll do the entire onion. Throw this in the dishwasher when you're done. You can use it to slice anything. But as you can see this paper thinness? So we'll just peel those apart and we'll spread the wrap with dressing, then the onions. Then we're going to put in a few tomatoes. I see a couple cucumbers missed my bowl. And I had these left over, just a mixture of some of the little heritage tomatoes. So I'm going to use the close and cut and split them in half. And remember, if you get this item, just checking my timer behind me, 28 seconds. If you get this item, you have to have a knife that's as long as across because it has to be able to split it. So this is what I used earlier today to split the one chicken breast into two so they were thinner. I'm just going to put some tomatoes on here now. I don't know about how many tomatoes we're going to want in our wraps, maybe that amount. And look at this. See, it's spring loaded, so it shuts, but they're not smashed. So you can see those. Time out here. We're going to go back and turn the chicken. Before I do, though, I'll give you a little sneak peek. All right, so let's get it turned over. Let's reset the timer for 4 more minutes because that chicken breast is all thawed out. So if something's still partially frozen, you'd have to add a minute or two to it. But while that's going, I'm also going to take a pita and I'm going to throw that into that hot skillet so that starts toasting. So back to the close and cut. When you want to split things, like I'm going to split these tomatoes, you can do it on grapes, do it to use chicken breast, you can use it to split a bagel. You want to take a super sharp knife that's bigger than the paddle and close it right on it and just cut through your tomatoes all the way to the back. And then see when you lift these off, can you guys see that? There's halves of them right there. So I'm just going to take all these halves and I'll throw this in the Easy Read measuring cup just because I have it right here. And then that way they'll be much easier to put in our wraps. By the way, the Easy Read measuring cups, they're another thing on the incredible Black Friday specials that they announced today. So use this a ton. Close and cut knife, get it as the set so you have the right size knife. We will also put a variety of mixed greens in the wraps when I am making those. So really it's pretty simple. The spread, I use tomatoes, red onions, greens. You could use whatever you want. But in 4 minutes when the chicken is done, then I do let it set for a couple minutes, and then I just slice it in real thin slices, so kind of on a diagonal, and that's what I'll fill the wraps with. And I'm just going to grab another tong so I can flip the... By the way, these wonderful little tongs, they come with our coating tray set, which I like and use for the air fryer a lot. So I just want to turn this pita over, but I'll show you. You guys can see, whoops, the piece is coming off, that it's charred it a little bit more. So let's flip it on the other side. And if it's taco night at your house and you do this, you can put them in, you can be warming them or crisping them and put them in the tortilla warmer to keep them warm if you're doing them for a whole bunch of people. And then I will cut, I didn't think to grab it out, but I will cut pieces of tinfoil. So probably about a couple inches square bigger than the pitas. And I'll lay the pita on it and I'll assemble it then. And then I wrap it up in the tinfoil and then peel back a corner, if that makes sense, so that you actually have it kind of as a holding pouch when you go to eat that tonight. And since I have all these vegetables and everything in it, I'm making this one thing for our dinner. This is it. This is what our dinner will be. So super fast, super easy. And if you guys are doing some different cooking this week, I would love to kind of know about it. You know, I'm trying to add some new things. I had a lot of people tell me that I haven't been on here quite regularly, so I'm trying to get back to it for you. But we have a lot of holiday cooking coming up, and if you're wanting to save some time for Thanksgiving prep, be kind of thinking about your menu this week, and then you can get organized, you can buy your groceries, and then you don't have the stress of having to do that Thanksgiving week when the bulk of the people shop. And if you are doing turkey, it's time to actually get that in your refrigerator to start to thaw if it was frozen, especially if it's a bigger one. If it's a 20-pound bird, you need to get that in there and start to thaw any day now because it will take several days in your refrigerator to thaw out to be ready to cook, okay? But let me know what your Thanksgiving plans are and what you're cooking. That will be fun. Take advantage of our sale. I'll actually put a shopping link for you right in the comments after this. And one other thing I should tell you on the marinade that I used, let me just check this shell here. how it nice brown, and you can see the steam coming off of it. So I'm going to switch. I'm going to put the other one in the pan, but I'm going to put this one on top of it since it's just for Jim and I. That way they'll stay hot. And I'm going to shut my burner off with the chicken, and I'm going to let that rest for a couple minutes in the pan before I slice it. But back to the marinade, I did a quarter of a cup, because I forgot to tell you ingredient. I did a quarter of a cup of olive oil, and then I did a couple teaspoons of lemon juice, and then it was a heaping teaspoon of the 3 turmeric, cumin, and paprika, and then I did about 4 cloves of fresh garlic. Okay, so that's the marinade. Put your chicken in it. Enjoy making this at your house. By the way, the flatbreads or pita breads, if you buy them, they freeze really well. So you can just take out what you need. So I took out 3 so that I would have enough for a leftover in the next few days. Happy shopping, happy cooking, and thanks you guys for following along. See you soon.